Well, I'm back out here again, and thanks for checking back in with me. So I'm gonna mount the seats today, and these are all metric bolt holes. So I tapped them all out 5/16. Take 5/16 16 threads, and I got these plates made up and marked out everything to bolt on the seats. So I'm gonna drill these out on both sides and cut the center plate out, and then bolt them to the seats, set the seat in there and tack it so I know it'll bolt and unbolt, and then take the bolts out of it and weld it in, and then I'll repeat it on the other side. Over here at the Bridgeport, I'm gonna drill the holes on the plates, test fit them to the seat. Alright, so they bolt on, so we're good there. I'm going to cut the section out that goes for that C-channel, that's that piece of ribbing that's in there, and then we'll get it tacked in and go to the other side. I'm going to cut these pieces out of this and get it bolted to the seat, and tack it. Okay, so I set my seat in here, and I got these, they're dropped in. You see, I don't know if you can see the braces or not, but you probably can't see nothing. Anyway, those braces are now, and what it allows me to do is to slide the seat back and forth to where see, I got my gap set for my back of my seat. And now I'll go and I'll mark all those, because I don't think I want to take the chance of tacking and burning the seat. So I'd rather cut it in and out 4 or 5 times. So if it comes to that, I'm gonna mark it with a marker, and then tack them in there, and then test fit the seat. So now you can see the marks that I made. So I took a piece of material the same thickness. Well, this allows me to lay on the marks and transfer it into the center piece here and over the side. So I'll be able to do the same thing, my mark. You can use how I use that stock to lay this all the way across. So I got those sets laid out here. I'm going to tack those pieces in, test fit the seat, and if it works, I'm going to weld it all the way fully and grind it. So they're tacked in there. Here comes the moment of truth. We're going to see if the seat will actually bolt in. If they will, I'll weld it. Okay, I got it all in here and welded. So I'll grind it down. It bolts, the seat bolts on and everything, so there's the last of the supports on this side. I'll get to go over and put the seat in on that side. So I'll grind it down and test fit it one more time. It's all ground now. When I lay the sheet in there, I'll have the weld. It's not going to be perfect, and nobody's going to care. It probably end up having carpet thrown on it. But we're going to put the seat in here now and go from there. Well, that's one seat bolted in. All the supports on this side are done. It took me 3 hours, so we'll go work on the other seat and get it bolted in. Get it all real nice where it bolts in and out real easy. And then I can actually start putting the floor in. We'll go work on the other side now. Okay, it's a different day now. We're going to get this seat tapped out the 5/16 18. those are metric bolts, so we're going to change it over. It's close enough. It can tighten down real good. So everything else is standard. We're going to make everything standard on the truck. So I'm going to, the other side, I'm going to get the braces in for that side today. This one's bolted down. So yep, that's what I'm going to do. Work on the other side. I dropped a string over the center line of that wheel and then measured off the edge so I could find the center of the seat. So that I laid everything out. I adjusted center, and I had this measurement off wrong. So when I went over there and laid that in the frame, this is where it should have been. And it should be all laid out for me to put it on the. I got these cut down to length and marked. I'm gonna drill the bowl holes now, and then fit it to the seat. And if it fits the seat, I'll cut this section out. So I'm drilling the holes over here on the Bridgeport. One trick is to take it out of low gear. And if you see, I'll drop it down there and spin it by hand, and then it'll leave a mark by the drill bit, and I can move it back and forth, in and out, till I get that mark visually where I want it. So this thing's going to be cut open and it's going to be welded, so there's going to be a bunch of variables. There's no reason to use the DRO to make the holes perfect. Sometimes you just got to know when you can go quick and when you can't. So I'm gonna drill this last hole. I already got one of them bolted on over there. We'll bolt this one on. All right, so they bolt on now, and there's an 1.5 inch angle over there, so the seat, you know, with the 1.5 inch angle, it is going to clear. And this one's even going to be farther away from the door, so we won't have any problems like that. But we'll be in line with the steering wheel, you know, basically. And we'll now cut those sections out for it to catch that C channel and be welded. And then I'll set it in there and mark it where I want it to land, and then take it off. The same thing as the other seat. So you can see why it's always a good thing to double check yourself. I came over here and set these in here and noticed that I'd marked this wrong, and now I got it marked by this so that I can cut this piece out. So just showing you, you know, I screwed up. And then so it clears here and there, and it's now marked out in the right spot. So I'm going to cut the two of them to where I get 4 pieces, and then bolt them on a seat and set the seat in. But we're over here at the bandsaw. We're going to cut the chunks out, and this is all probably pretty boring stuff, but it's just regular fab stuff. Guys that fab all day long, they're probably like, man, this guy's an idiot. He does it, you know, differently than I do. There's a million different ways. So I'm going to cut this out, and I had to cut them with the long way with the saw, because they're they're like an 1/8 inch from being able to cut them. So I had to cut them with the grinder. But you know, now we're easy. I can get in here and use this big fancy tool and cut this off, chunks out. Well, I didn't really show this on the other side, but I put a straight edge across the bracket, and I tightened it down. And that's going to tell me, you know, that the ends where I mark them in there are straight, because it's cut open for that C channel, and you see it bolts down crooked, so I really can't tack it in there because these things will be all off. So, but I need to be able to put it in there and move it to where I want it, and then mark it, and then take them off and weld them. So we're ready to set the seat in. Now we're going to set it in inside there, and mark it, and then get them tacked in, and then hopefully the seat bolts up. So I got it in there now. I'll be able to mark where these are, and then put the straight edge across like I did last time, and then tack these in. I had to modify the front a little bit so the front came over, and the gaps here in the back were correct. So, but you know, a little shaving on those two bars in the front, I was able to put the seat in there right. So we're gonna mark it now and get them tacked in. I used that framing square to transfer the lines onto that centerpiece. So I got the lines set so I can set them in there and tack them now. Alright, I got them tacked in there, and I got it to where all 4 bolts go in. So I'm gonna take that seat out now, weld it, and then hopefully it'll still bolt in. Alright, it's all welded, so I'll grind it now, and then cools down, we'll bolt the seat in. Alright, so it's all ground down, and we'll put the seat back in, hold it up. Okay, so the seats are now bolted in, and I've stripped everything off the console. I cut the shifter lever because we're going to have a B&M shifter over there on the floor, and where the key's going to be in the dash, so we don't need that. Turn signals we'll put on a switch, so I don't need turn signals, so nothing will be in the column. We'll make a cover that goes over this section. Everything else won't matter. This will help me fit that dash too, because it'll fit down in here, and it'll also help sit when I sit in here. It won't have that big bulky crap, you know, turn signal, all that crap. We'll relocate the turn signal switch maybe over there on the console, and I don't know. This isn't an airbag truck, so there's no felony or nothing about taking this. Being a 94, it didn't have airbags. All it had was this horn thing, so not breaking any laws by changing that steering wheel out. This thing must have been, I got lucky, it's pre-airbag, so I don't have to worry about any of that crap. Well, I just got to figure out, you know, a Grant steering wheel adapter or a Grant wheel, and I'm going to go from that 15-inch wheel down to like a 12-inch wheel. So I got to do some research, or anybody knows can tell me what adapter I need to buy to put, you know, like a 12-inch Speedway or a Grant wheel on here, and we'll clean that column up. No, but I needed to do that to put the dash in. Anyway, 2 days worth of work. We got seats. All right. If you like this or whatever, check in, subscribe, like. Well, have a nice day. Well, I forgot to show you. I popped the lock out, so the key tumbler had a lock blade in there. I popped it out, so I don't have to worry about it locking up or anything. So it's back to like pre-60s, where, you know, we don't have a lock in here, and you'll be able to push it, whatever. You just won't be able to start it. But anybody knows any hot rods, this thing, you know, one wire, you could steal it if you wanted to. But, you know, locks only keep honest people honest. Anyway, so here we go.